So we're here with Mr. Fabio Campanella. We're going to be talking on March 7th. Am I correct?
That's
No,
correct.
March
I believe
7th. Yeah,
it's
March
seven. Yeah,
7th, 7:30.
that's what I got in my calendar.
March 7th, 7:30. The timing is perfect because we are, smack dab in the middle of tax season. I'm sure Fabio's at his busiest, but it's a time where you need this kind of information. So I want to touch on a couple of things that we're going to talk about. The three important things is estate planning for real estate investors. And I did a session with Fabio, and I keep listening to the cuts and the recordings because I'm trying to ingrain in my head what estate planning is. So just in 2 minutes or less, tell us why it's important, Fabio.
Okay, so estate planning is important not just for real estate investors, but for really anybody who has any sort of wealth or assets, along with beneficiaries such as children, nieces, nephews, maybe a charity, basically people who have some sort of wealth and they care about where that wealth goes to when they die. That's what
Mhm.
estate planning is for, and that's who will be interested in any type of estate planning. So it's the final step in developing your personal financial plan. So your personal financial plan is essentially a roadmap, a financial roadmap, or a business plan, as I like to call it, for your personal life. And it encapsulates, everything from when you, let's say, graduate university all the way until you pass away. Estate planning is probably the most complex component of your financial plan. Why? Because you have to get it right. It's got to be perfect because you can't fix it after you're dead, right? So if you
Yeah.
care about where your assets go and to whom they go to, estate planning is a very important process for you.
I think that's a really interesting point because as real estate investors, I guess we're used to being problem solvers and like, okay, make a mistake, fix it later kind of thing. But this is one of those ones where you can't fix it later. You kind of have to, go through all the scenarios and get this done because you only get one chance. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. And
And
take it with a
so
grain of
that,
salt. Take it with a grain of
yep.
salt because you can fix it later, but it's really, really expensive to fix it later.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. No, that's good. So we're going to talk about that in much greater detail because I think it's a very important conversation that we're all missing. But back to tax season, I think got to be top three questions we always get, especially from newer and intermediate type investors, is should I use my corporation to invest? Should I use my personal name to invest? There is no right answer. I'll save the show time for you on the call, but we're going to talk about different scenarios and what scenario should make sense to you, depending where you are. Anything you want to add there, Fab?
Yeah, this is for sure when it comes to real estate investing, one of the most common questions is, should I incorporate a company to invest in real estate? I guess a lot of the literature out there, a lot of the social media out there is American, and American
Mm,
taxation, American laws are they're very similar to Canadian tax and Canadian laws, but they are different, right? So I am definitely going to go over this component in detail because I'm sure it's top of mind for a lot of your listeners, clients, and the people that are going to participate in this particular event.
perfect. And then finally, Reno, we're going to talk about some tax deductions and things we need to look for because it is tax season, specifically for real estate investors, and any edge we can get in this crazy tax system we have in Canada, I think is going to be a benefit to all of us. So, I mean, I don't think we'll be pulling white rabbits out of magic hats, but I think if we cover the basics and make sure that we're getting everything included in there, it's going to be to your benefit. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think what I do want to focus on for this one is, the CRA doesn't tell us the audit campaigns that they have going on necessarily.
Mm.
They hint to it, and you can sort of infer what is going on at the CRA level by taking a look at your clients, your client base, and what they're getting audited for, what they're getting double checked on, right? And with our client base, it's a good solid 500 clients. I would say we've cut it down from well over 1,000, but it's a good solid 500 clients. And what we're seeing is the CRA looking at capitalization versus repairs and maintenance. That's for sure. We're looking at a lot of auto audits, a lot of auto audits for sure. Right. So those two areas for sure, I'm going to take a look at in this course, seminar, whatever, because it's a lot more complex than people may think, especially the auto deductions. And I want to make sure that people are A, getting all the deductions they can get, but B, they're putting the right things on there that aren't going to trigger an audit, hit you with penalties and interest.
Yeah, it's not worth it if you're overextending yourself and having to go through all that crap. Yeah, that stress is not worth it. Yeah, I think that's great. So yeah, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not coming on here. Even if you don't like taxes, which I don't. I mean,
I don't.
It has to be done. So we gotta turn a problem into a benefit here. So March 7th, 7:30, it will be recorded, but you gotta be registered in full, or you can't get the recording. Fab, thank you for doing this.
No problem, man. Anytime.